you, Mr. Anderson, because he is a student teacher. Okay, everybody have their sheets out. Is there anyone missing it?
Yes, sir.
All right. You got a few more minutes. Anybody have any questions or observations that they'd like to point out? Raise your hand. Ooh, Mila noticed something. So a couple of kids, before I have you point out your observation real fast, Mila. A couple of kids, when you came in first thing this morning, you may have noticed that there was something different. Oh yeah, that there was something different about your plants that we planted yesterday. So, Casey, I love the energy. Calm it down. All right, Mila, go ahead and tell us what one of the things you observed was.
So, me and Nate, since we were sitting by each other, we kind of like came up with this. The tomatoes took more water than most of the other plants.
Oh, that's an interesting observation. So, what was a general, up here guys. All right, what was a general observation that you guys made when you first came in and checked your plants? What, I'll give you a clue, what was missing? Andrea.
The water.
Water. The water levels had gone
Down.
down. So we know that our hydroponic system is working. Here, let me ask you guys another question. Did anybody come in and touch the material that we have in there?
No. Yeah, I did. No,
I didn't instruct you to, but I was just going to see if any of you had been curious and had tried it.
I did.
Oh, a couple of you did?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. Let's have Joel tell us what he noticed. What was it?
What I noticed yesterday, it was all dry, but today when I stuck my finger in it, it was wet.
It was wet. So where do we think that the water went? Jake, where did the water go? It came into the bottles. Lily, this morning you were in line and I pointed out something interesting about the water that was in the bottom part of your hydroponic system. Do you remember what it was? Oh, it's okay. Who else was in line with Lily when I pointed that out? Keaton? Oh, you were in line?
I think I was.
Wait,
You were?
What?
You don't remember? Oh.
Wait, pointed what out?
Water starts with a V.
Water
Vapor.
vapor.
Oh,
water
vapor.
vapor. Oh yeah, I was in line. You talked to me about it.
We talked a little bit about it because the
It's
water
not
was.
in there.
Hold on.
I can tell you why.
Hands down. Okay, so the water vapor is a sign that the water is evaporating up into our material where our seeds are growing. Now, what do we need for our seeds to grow? Raise your hand. What do you need for our seeds to grow? Raise your hand. Eden, what do we need for our seeds to grow? Water. What else? Let's have somebody else. All right, Amaya. You need sunlight. You getting a good amount there? Now, it's interesting because we also have some that aren't as directly in the sunlight over here. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how those plants react as opposed to the rest. It's close enough that I think we'll be fine. But remember, what are we measuring? Let's go ahead and raise your hand and tell me, what are we measuring? Rochelle.
How tall the plant gets.
How high the plant, or how tall the plant grows out of our hydroponic system. Okay? So, now, what we are going to do is we have our plant growth sheet up, right? You all got it? Show it to me. Berlin?
No, I'm working on a test.
Oh, you're on a test? It's inside of your desk. Look for it. Okay. Show it to me one more time. I want to make sure I see it. Okay. Ooh, you got great. Okay. So, what do we have right here? Raise your hand and tell me. Audrey, what do we have right next to name?
Your name?
Now, don't put my name. Put your name. Put your guys' names. So that's where you have that. So, what do we have right here between plant growth and observation? Jovi, what do we have there?
What kind of plant I chose?
Yeah, because we chose a bunch of different types. You can remember what we chose. We have
Oh,
tomatoes,
carrots, parsley,
thyme. Who's got the thyme?
lettuce,
Never mind. So we have a bunch of different kinds of plants. Hold on.
I do. I don't have the tempo.
Okay. So, do you think, and here's part of our hypothesis and how you need to adjust, your hypothesis based off of what we're doing together as a class. Do you think that the different seeds or the different plants will grow at different rates? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you think that they will grow at different rates, which means that they'll grow taller faster or won't grow as tall. Okay? Who thinks that they're all going to grow at the exact same rate? Raise your hand.
No.
All right, so now you guys are right. We have different plants, they're going to grow at different rates. So you're going to have different data based on which plant you chose. Okay? Yes, Milo.
So you know how we have like 4 plants?
Go back and take.
5, I think, but yes.
Well, yeah, we each have that kind of 5. And so, like, what if some of them we plant it deeper and some of them, like, we plant it
Alistair, we're doing this. Science
higher
first.
than that?
Well, that's why I had you guys push it down an even amount each and every time, according to the instructions that I had received. But that's a good point.
What about the water? Like, what if the water went to one side and didn't go to the other?
Well, that's the thing. That's why we are testing our hypothesis. Remember, what is our experimental question? Will a plant grow without soil? Will a plant grow without... Now that isn't soil. What we have in there is a medium. It's not traditional soil. So, we are doing a hydroponic system. Now, we're going to learn a little bit about what a hydroponic system is, and we're going to start working on checkpoint 1 today. Okay? So I want you guys to open up. Oh wait, no, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself, my bad. Okay, so you should already have a date in this top box. Does everybody have a date in this top box?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the
Are we
date?
gonna put another one?
What's the date?
4/26/23.
4/26.
What?
That was
No,
yesterday.
This is one yesterday. No, 4/26.
Oh,
was
4/26 is
yesterday.
today, so you should have 4/25.
4/25 was yesterday.
Hold on, pay attention.
Yeah.
In this top one, it should say 4/25. Your height should be what?
0.
Okay, and your observation. What did you? Somebody raise your hand and tell me what you put in observation.
Ooh.
Keaton,
What? Not observation.
what did you put in observation?
I put beginning of observation.
Beginning of observation. Start of observation. We're just marking the first day of our observation. Truce, up here. Joel, up here. All right, now, what is today's date?
4/26/23.
All right, so you should put 4/26 right in here.
Do we just put
4/26. You just have to put 4/26. We know that we're doing this in the year 2023, so we're good enough. All right. Height. Has anybody noticed any sprouts coming out of their hydroponics yet?
No.
No, okay, so we're going to keep it at
0 inches.
0 inches. We're just going to put IN right there, okay? Right? Now, we made some observations this morning. So, what? Joel, focus. All right. So, observation. What should we be putting in that observation box? What is one observation that we can make on this first date? We observed that something changed. Nyla,
The water went down.
water levels went down.
Well, I put the water got absorbed by the salt. Does that work?
That works. Just in some way, say that the water levels went down. So you should have an entry here, 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 and then these 3 up here. Okay? we are keeping track where I'm trying to do it at the exact same time every single day. So that's why we're focusing on that, okay? Yes, Keaton?
So I also noticed that on the sock, when the water level is like below, like the tip of the sock, and then when the water is like below that, it doesn't suck up as much water.
Exactly. So, depending on the amount of water that you have inside of your system, say that again, Keaton, say it loud so that everybody can pay attention and hear it. Try it.
Okay, so the tip of the sock, and then when the water is below that, then it doesn't suck as much water.
It can, because our sock, or our means of getting that water leached up into the medium, what do you think is happening there? If the water's below the sock, can the sock do its job and pull that water up?
No.
No, it can't. Yes, Mackenzie? Sorry. Okay. So, there's another observation. So, science and experiments are all about the observations that you can make and how you control the variables within your experiment, okay? All right, so we are going to talk a little bit about, go ahead and open up your computers and go to checkpoint 1. Make sure to keep track of your sheets. Now we are going to go to this activity, forming a hypothesis. We started working on this a little bit at the end of the day yesterday. Okay? And this first question is, what is hydroponics? So we need to pull this guy up, and we're going to read through this top paragraph. And in your own words, I want you to fill in what this means, okay? Now,
Wait, where will we be?
oh, on your checkpoint activity, that is a good question. Let's, oh, whoops. Science, Garden Grow, we are in checkpoint 1. So I need you guys to open up, what is a hydroponic, oh, whoops, the hydroponics, and I need you to open up forming a hypothesis, okay? That will give you this page and this page. So we're going to talk about what hydroponics is. As soon as somebody has opened up the, what's the name of the website? Kittle. This Kittle article, let's wait a second, should be in resources for checkpoint 1.
Oh,
Go ahead and scroll down.
strawberries.
What is,
Those are strawberries?
Yeah.
what is it?
Those are strawberries.
What is a hydroponic garden?
Those are big strawberries.
Hydroponics. It's just the one that says hydroponics. As soon as you have that Kittle article open, raise your hand so that I know on who to call. As soon as you have that Kittle article about hydroponics open, raise your hand.
Wait, where is it?
It's in the resources for checkpoint 1. Okay, Cora, I want you to read this section right here. Okay? Pay attention. Everybody, pay attention. Listen close.
Hydroponics are hydroculture is the method of growing plants in the nutrients that they need instead of soil. Plant food is simply put into water instead and makes a solution for the plants to live in. Vegetables, flowers, and herbs can all be grown in water.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. This is the only example that I've ever seen on a large scale. Okay? Who here has ever been to Epcot?
What's that?
Epcot, it's in Disney World.
Oh, I know.
A big, huge golf ball looking building.
Yeah, I went there.
Okay, they have a tour there called Living with the Earth. And they have a lot of hydroponics examples where they're growing fruits and vegetables, edible plants. Don't worry about looking up Epcot. We're not on that right now. But they have a lot of examples of this, of hydroponics. So, who can look at that and give me a one-sentence definition of what hydroponics is? West.
Isn't it like a technique of growing plants? Almost.
A technique of growing plants, but I need a little bit more information. Good start, good start. Berlin.
Hydroponics is the technique of growing plants using a water-based nutrient soil solution rather than soil.
But in your own words. You're creative. You can do that. Mila.
So I said hydroponics gives nutrients to the plant to help it grow without using soil.
There we go. So growing plants without soil. That's what hydroponics is. Hydroponics is growing plants without soil. Yes, Caroline.
So isn't hydroponics also like growing plants without like actually watering it every day?
Well, that's part of the process. That's the thing about hydroponics. That's why it's called hydroponics. Hydro is a prefix that refers to water. It's using primarily water to transfer nutrients. Okay? Everybody following so far? All right. Raise your hand then. Nate, what's up?
And what is hydroponics? It's gonna be, how are we gonna do like 5 sentences?
All right. Well, we're going to start with our initial sentence. We're going to say that hydroponics, follow along, I'm helping you out on this first checkpoint. Hydroponics is the technique of growing plants without soil. That's your first sentence. Now, what's up? Did you have all 5 sentences? Oh, great. Then make sure I'm right. Pay attention. All right, and then with the other 4, I want you to give me some examples. I want you to talk to me about how it's different than regular planting in soil. Who here has ever grown something in a garden? Okay.
We have a garden.
So, I want you guys to give me some examples of how hydroponics, as it says, as we've talked about, how it's different than growing in a regular garden. Okay? Yes, you can put your hands down. Okay. Now, on to box 2. I know we're still working on box 1, but I want to give you guys some instructions on box 2. Okay? Especially for those who've already finished. So on box 2, what information did you find that will help you form a hypothesis? You can talk about this website. You can talk about your own personal experiences. You can talk about our experiment. There's a lot of different ways that you can introduce that idea or explain that idea. How you went about forming your future hypothesis. So, 5 sentences there too. Form a hypothesis. I want a single sentence statement
So we don't have to have 5 sentences?
for form a hypothesis. Just for this section that says form a hypothesis. Okay? Now, oh wait, we're doing that down here. My bad. So first let's look at our experimental question. Callister, read our experimental question.
Can plants grow in water without soil?
Can plants grow in water without soil? Are we conducting an experiment to figure that out?
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we know we've done this.
All right, variables, the independent and dependent variable. So, who remembers what a dependent and independent variable is from yesterday? We talked a little bit about it. We watched that video from Mythbusters. So, who can tell me what the independent variable is and what the dependent variable is? Audrey.
The independent variable is what they can control or how. And then the dependent is what they can measure.
Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
I got some maybes. Some parts of the room. So go ahead and say it, but louder this time, okay?
An independent variable is what they can control, and a dependent variable is what they can measure.
There we go. The independent variable is what we, as the scientists conducting the experiment, congratulations, you're all scientists, just without the white coat and everything. You're all scientists, and it's what you, as a scientist, can control in your experiment. And the dependent variable One more time. What is the dependent variable?
What they
Louder.
Is
What they can measure.
It's what can be measured. What are we measuring in this experiment?
How tall the plant gets.
How tall the plant gets. So, identifying the variables. What is an independent variable for our experiment? What is something that we can control? Rochelle.
Can control how much water is in there,
Yes.
what color the sock is, what type of plant we use. And
The color of the sock, do we think, is that really a variable? Do you think the color of the sock will affect
Nope.
the experiment in the long run?
Well, we can still control
We
that.
can still control it. You do have a point. I'll give you that. But when we're talking about independent variables, we need to point out what might change the outcome of the experiment. We already have some variances in our independent variable because we have different kinds of plants, different kinds of seeds. So I want you to give me, for your independent variable right here, type of plant or type of seed. Okay?
Where?
In independent variable, I want you to write type of seed. And for dependent variable, what are we measuring?
How tall are we?
How tall the plants will be. Write that in. How tall the plants will be. Okay,
Wait,
so,
can we control how tall it is?
no, because that's what we're measuring. But how we treat this plant, how it grows,
It is on its own.
is on its own. We can cut it and we can make adjustments, but that would be affecting the outcome directly.
That makes it worse for
So we can measure what type.
We can't measure what seed it is, but we can control which seed we choose. Hannah, you look like your arm's gonna fall off.
What are we using instead of soil?
We're using a perlite and peat moss compound, okay? Not exactly soil, regular soil. Yes? No. In those two, we're just pointing out a couple of variables. Okay, last part. This is what we're gonna work on today. We're gonna form a hypothesis as an if-then statement. Remember what if-then statements are. Who can tell me what an if-then statement is? Pay attention over here, guys. Got a couple of monkeys in here. Alright, I invited that. Alright, Caroline.
If-then statement is like that one baseball player. If he caught it, then they would have won the game.
Exactly. If-then statement. If I take one step forward, then I will be 1 foot closer to that wall. Okay? Or casing. If I jump in the air, then gravity will pull me back down. If then. So that's how we need to form our hypothesis. Hypothesize. Whatever it is. So we need to form a hypothesis as an if-then statement. Who wants to take a shot at it? If-then statement for our Kason's thinking out loud. Kason's thinking out loud. What do you think? No? Jackson.
You can do if the plants grow in the hydroponics, then I'd be really happy. Or
Well, we need to be able to put it in a scientific way. Okay. Good try. Wes.
If the plant grows, then we will have fruit or vegetables.
Remember, what's our experimental question? We're trying to answer this question. You guys have part of it. Callister, what do you got? Hey. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. The class is being a little bit rude. Okay. Go ahead, Callister. Nice and loud.
If, like, cilantro grows in perlite or peat moss, it might take longer for it to grow.
Okay, but is that answering our main experimental question? Can plants grow in water without soil? And the number one thing a hypothesis is an answer to a question. So, if-then statement that answers that question. Joel, go ahead.
if our plant grows, then we have to measure it all.
Okay, you guys have gotten the first part pretty good. I'm gonna give you guys one more chance.
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, can I try?
Rochelle.
If the plant does grow, then we will have a vegetable to eat. No, please.
All three things.
I know, please.
You're answering the question.
I actually know.
Okay, we've got the first part, so let's write that part down.
I
If
thought
our
it grows
plants
in the
grow
sunlight and heat more.
in our hydroponic system, okay? Write that right here. I'll write it with you. Ready? If our plants grow in our hydroponic system,
Hydroponic system.
if, then, okay, if our plants grow in our hydroponic system, then what is the answer to our question?
Then we will get to eat them.
What is our question? Let's ask that one more time. Can plants grow in water without soil? If our plants grow in our hydroponic system, then
Our hypothesis will be correct.
we're building our hypothesis.
No, here.
Mila.
Okay, so what I put is, I hypothesize that if our hydroponic system works and a plant grows, then we'll know that we can grow plants without soil.
There we go. Then it. You know what? Not you.
Then we will
Then
know that it can grow
we-
without water.
then we can
Grow
grow
plants
plants
without soil.
without
Soil.
soil. Yeah, good job, guys. You got there eventually. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna have you guys do is I'm going to have. Oh, wait. Go ahead, Andrea. Yes, you can. Any other questions before we move on?
Don't we basically already know that the plants can grow?
I know, but we are conducting our experiment to prove it. We are answering the question. Hold on.
I didn't get the first part of 2 questions.
Okay. So number 2. Who can read number 2 for me? Mackenzie, read number 2.
What is information?
What information?
What information did you
Hey,
find
hey, hey.
that will help you form a
Hypothesis. So for that, I want you to take the information that we got and say, I got my information from this article, which tells me about hydroponics. Give some detail. If you've ever grown something in your own garden, you can use your own personal experience as well. If you've watched something grow. I mean, anyone who's driven between here and Caliente has seen fields of hay or alfalfa. What do they grow out there?
I think alfalfa.
Alfalfa? for the most
There's
part?
our dance grows hay.
So there's a bunch of different crops that grow between here and there. Do you guys ever notice a difference throughout the year? Sometimes you'll notice that they're higher, sometimes you'll notice that they got cut down. So use your own personal experience as well. That's another thing that you could put inside of there. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to write in number 2, but I want you guys to use your own experiences. I want you to use the resources that are provided through Checkpoint 1. Okay. Through the resources in Checkpoint 1, you can use all kinds of things. Okay? You can even use the experiment that we're conducting. We're starting to see it ourselves. We're seeing results from our experiment. Okay?
Mr. Anderson,
Yes, Joel, what's up?
do we need 5 sentences in our independent variable and our dependent variable?
No, on those ones, they can be single sentences because we're just identifying what are dependent variables
And what
and independent
about the
variables.
form a hypothesis as an if-then statement?
That one we already wrote, so it's only one sentence. We'll keep it as that. Yes, Smiley.
On number 2, we have to put 5 sentences?
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you put 5